Welcome to Kamjiverse. This is your exclusive bridge between the legacy of classical Africa and the triumphs of modern African revolutions. You won't find this connection anywhere else. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Share this video with friends and family. Become a channel member or join our Patreon. The links are waiting in the description. Let's honor our sacred legacy and ignite our future together.
The bromance is definitely over. President Trump and Elon Musk erupted into a nasty public feud today.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
The extraordinary squabble happened before the eyes of the world as the president was meeting with the Chancellor of Germany in the Oval Office. He claims Musk has turned against him because the big, beautiful bill removes the tax credits for buying electric cars, like Teslas.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk was listening, and he responded in real time, basically calling Trump a liar. False. This bill was never shown to me even once, he declared on social media as Trump bashed him. Such ingratitude. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. The president says Musk has a case of Trump derangement syndrome.
I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration, they leave, and they wake up in the morning, and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile.
You could see he looked visibly sad when talking about this fraying relationship with someone that he has viewed for so long now as a good friend of his.
The rift is reportedly so deep, Musk won't even take calls from the White House.
Members of Trump's team have reached out to Elon Musk. No response.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised.
So recently, we've learned about the rather public divorce between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And it seems surprising to some people. Now, I actually thought that they wouldn't last because both of them tried to be the main event. And any of you who are familiar with Trump's first term, you knew that, when somebody like that with that type of personality, who always has to be the center of attention, whenever they enter into the scene with the Donald, it never ends well. And there's many different people that, we could recall with respect to this. One of them that comes to mind is Stephen Bannon. And even though maybe he didn't necessarily try to be so public or super public with his representation within the conservative media and within the conservative movement, he always did. So it's important to understand this marriage, to contextualize this marriage, because beforehand, with respect to the way that they operated from the inauguration until now, it seemed to be mutually beneficial. Trump would, play cover for Elon Musk. He would support Elon Musk with respect to a lot of the scandals that he was having with SpaceX, him buying Twitter and making it X with Tesla. A lot of the air traffic regulations were removed by Donald Trump at the behest of Elon, just so SpaceX would be able to avoid scrutiny that it was getting within the legal system by not abiding by the laws, the local laws, of the specific jurisdictions in the United States. And Trump would push, Elon's conspiracy theories. And it's really, really interesting and funny because Trump is quoted as asking his advisors, Elon lied? The Boer lied? Of course the Boer lied. I mean, even if we're looking at African history, the compartmentalization of African populations into these different boxes, the Afro-Asiatic, the Bantu, the so-called Khoisan. And Khoisan is a more, insidious one because of the fact that it was created by a zoologist in Leonard Schutze and not actually a historical linguist. And within contemporary historical linguistics, Khoisan is pretty much defunct. It's completely refuted. It's not accepted as a genetically linked family. It's more so along the lines of aerial diffusion. Much like other phyla within the Greenbergian family, Afroasiatic and Bantu is the same way. And these Boers, like Wilhelm Bleek, Boer is a catch-all phrase for these South Africans, they use this as an excuse to justify them stealing land from black people. And if you look at the politics of Azania, Elon Musk, this Boer, even though he tries to claim British heritage, this Boer ideologically and politically has been lying since day one. Nobody, even white South Africans, would even say that there is a genocide in South Africa. This is some of the more, white nationalist, white supremacy, Nazi and Nazi adjacent talking points. You will never see the everyday, Afrikaner or white South African claiming that there is a genocide against white people. These are radical far-right lunatics who make this claim. And this is not even just Elon Musk. Even if you examine what Trump used within that press conference with Ramaphosa, which many people call serial Rama fraudster, he used the EFF song, right? The EFF Freedom and Liberation song, a song that was granted legality by the South African court, a song that was not ruled hate speech by the South African courts. It is justified. It is a liberation song. The national anthem celebrates slavery, but nobody at any of these sports events accuses people who sing the national anthem of supporting slavery. In the same vein, when you had a system that was based upon decades, if not centuries, of legally sanctioned apartheid, be it by the British or be it by the Boers and the Afrikaners in South Africa, when you have a system set up in that vein, singing a liberation song to stop those atrocities and to galvanize the people against them is totally justified. So the fact that Donald Trump used the lie, that Elon Musk gave him, and now he's turning back and says, he lied? You couldn't cut $1 trillion from the budget? That was all a lie? I mean, it's just foolishness. And Trump himself has been a scammer, a fraudster, the son of a Klansman. His grandfather was a pimp. So Trump has been on that train for a long time. He's a manipulator. In many instances, there was a lot of chicanery that went on in the election of 2024, but we're not going to get into that. It's just hilarious how he is acting surprised about the misgivings and the misstatements of Elon Musk when, birds of a feather flock together. And you could clearly see that in their marriage and the dissolution of that marriage in real time. And the fact that it only lasted 6 months is also hilarious. It kind of speaks to the fact that Trump can't seem to stay married. I don't know if Melania is his longest go at it, but it just speaks to a lot of the issues and the problems, that he has. Now, it's been really, really hilarious to see, the back and forth that they've been going into. Elon Musk said the big ugly bill, which Trump calls the big beautiful bill, will increase the deficit to 2.5 trillion. Elon Musk says we have a 2 trillion deficit. It keeps growing. Our interest payments are higher than our defense department budget. And for somebody who's so concerned with the deficit, it's really rich coming from Elon, someone who's taken billions of dollars of subsidies. I think it was like $8 million a day or some crazy number of subsidies that he takes in order to finance his businesses and the many different projects, right? So Trump responded, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. And this is pretty hilarious too, because Elon Musk is very transactional. 1 second, he was all on the Trump train. He even funded Trump to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. But the moment that you took away the government mandate, that Trump took that away, then, Elon Musk starts to crash out, which is pretty damn hilarious, right? And then Elon Musk returns and he says the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. And this is actually something that they admitted Elon Musk and a lot of Trump's associates admitted that there would be a recession, and they always like to do this. They basically say that, you have to cut the pig and cut the government spending and cut the government overreach and cause an economic downturn in order to, shore up the economy and get it back to the fundamentals. This is a lot of these pro-capitalist market fundamentalists make this claim, when in reality, they want to crash everything to make it easier for the billionaires to buy everything up. That is their real intention. But it's just funny that Elon is just more and more openly admitting this now. It's pretty damn hilarious. And then Trump came back, and Trump is using Truth Social as a medium in order to get out what he wants to get out. And he says, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And this is pretty hilarious because Trump, as being, in a sense, a political maverick, and he bucks the so-called official, above the fray, bipartisan nonsense that a lot of these politicians going off of 1980s concepts try to do. In many instances, he's able to go a step further that Biden wouldn't go. He's able to actually use the levers of power and state machinery to go after his political enemies. And that really, really made Elon Musk crash out, right? Elon Musk responded, time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason that they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Mark this post for the future. The truth will eventually come out. And again, it just speaks to the hypocrisy of Elon Musk. If Trump was a pedophile and you always knew that he was a pedophile and you always knew that he was in the Epstein files, and, a lot of us did know this because Epstein said that he was Trump's best friend for 10 years. The first time that, Trump and Melania had sex was on, Epstein's plane. And it's just, really, really hilarious that Elon Musk would make this claim right now as Trump begins to hit him, beneath the gut. He begins to hit him beneath the gut and, really expose the fact that he's not really a powerful businessman. He's not that really, really good dude. He's a fraud, essentially. And, Trump, the first time he had sex with Melania was on the Lolita Express, Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express, right? This came out. So Elon Musk knew this, but he chose to continuously deal with Trump and finance Trump's campaign, finance his election, right? Elon Musk even came out and admitted that. He came out and said that if it wasn't for him, the Republicans would have never won the election. And he's basically claiming victory for the election itself. And then he comes out again, posting another piece of evidence. In 1992, Trump partied with Jeffrey Epstein. Just going to leave this here, right? And then he posts another meme. Ex-active users. Elon does ketamine on one side, Trump on the Epstein list on the other side. Basically going off. And, Trump responded. And he said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase, and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. So, Donald Trump is just digging in and digging in and digging in. And Elon Musk is saying, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? So again, this is just super, super hilarious. This public divorce is just showing you just the faultiness of a lot of these different political figures. And yes, Donald Trump, the Boer lied. The Boers been lying about everything from the whole Bantu scam, the Khoisan, the land issue. Trump even came out recently and said that there was no genocide, white genocide in South Africa. So completely turning back. And it just goes to show you how fickle he is. When he was in front of Ramaphosa, he was adamant, because he was still married to Musk. But now that they're political enemies, there's no more genocide in South Africa. So, this is just, speaking to how fickle the American empire is, how it's crumbling, the fecal brain assimilationists who hitch their wagon to this falling empire definitely look stupid now. And, the chickens are coming home to roost. To me, this is just the beginning of the end, and they're going to continue to eat each other, and I'm going to sit back and watch my popcorn and laugh at this empire falling. So with that, that's all I got for y'all on this one. I hope to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Join the Controverse Patreon for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes access, and special perks. Support the channel and connect with a community of revolutionary intellectuals and scholars. Click the link in the description to join now.